Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to see that you all made it here. That means that you have made it past the silent killer, your own bed. You see, although you may think that going to bed at night, you're just gonna sleep peacefully and wake up the next morning like you usually do, however, the bed requires 1.8 million emergency room visits and 400,000 hospital admissions every year, as Ian Langtree points out. Not to mention 450 deaths each year. That is a great amount. You may be thinking, well, what else can cause 450 deaths? Well, I'll tell you what can't. Lions, tigers, bears, and sharks. These four dangerous animals do not even altogether combine for 450 kills annually. Now, I'm here to raise awareness for the dangers of sleeping, because old and young deserve to know that the risks that they are putting themselves in. Chris Jaeger once pointed out that the odds of dying in your bed are 1 in 4,238. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to act today. We must protect all people, young and old, from the dangers of dying in beds. You see, the solution, it's simple. I have a three-pronged strategy to saving all people from dying in their beds. Awareness, regulation, and innovation. Awareness. Well, you see, we need to raise the awareness among all people. We need to let them know that you may be going to bed at night and not waking up in the morning. They need to know that there is a great chance of dying in that bed, not waking up, or of being moved from your own bed to a hospital bed because of the great injuries that you incur while sleeping. Regulation. I believe that government was set up for a reason, and we need to lobby to lower the standard bed height allowed for people. Now, you see, I believe that the bed height should be following a bell curve. You see, but not a regular bell curve. This one is upside down. So, as a young person, a toddler, you should not be able to sleep in a bed this high. However, once you grow older, and you're in your prime like me, all the way through about 45, 50 years old, you may be allowed to sleep up here. But then that bell curve continues. And as you grow older, once you reach the age of 60, once you're nearing retirement, you need to get that bed back down. So whenever you roll out in the morning, you don't end up in the hospital. In fact, you're still okay. Innovation. You see, there are many ways to change the standards in which we sleep. First of all, you don't want to have your grandmother sleeping up here as I described, because once you fall out on these hardwood floors, you could easily hurt yourself. And not to mention, what is right next to most beds? A nightstand. That is a death trap. Bang your head on one of those and you could easily end up in a hospital. Now, another thing that I'm pointing out in innovation is slides. Sliding out of your bed, that provides a safe departure. You see, there's you're slowly moving down the slide so that you don't fall at 9.8 meters per second squared and hurt yourself and almost die. Now, why am I talking on this? Well, I had a personal experience. You see, one of my friends fell out of a bunk bed and she hit her head and it was all bloody and I didn't know what happened. I woke up in the middle of the night and I see this girl next door, and she's just bleeding out, and I'm like, wow, I need to raise awareness for the dangers of sleeping. So, you can't go wrong with a low bed. A low bed, that's just like anyone who falls out of there, even your grandmother, you will be okay. You will survive that. You won't end up in a hospital bed. So what do we need to do? We need to raise awareness today for all people. Let them know the dangers of sleeping and how to survive the night and sleep peacefully. Now, I'll now be taking questions for anyone who has them.
What would be the perfect bed height?
Well, as I pointed out in my presentation here, the lower bed height, the lower that you get to the floor, really provides more and more safety. In fact, if we just do away with bed frames in general, just go ahead and knock them all out of the equation, then anyone sleeping on a mattress, although it may not be beautiful, will survive for sure. Anyone else? Yes.
How much do you think the slide would cost if we wanted to put that in our rooms?
You see, my slide, I want to actually make this available to the general public. Once I raise awareness, then there will be many companies fighting for competition, at which point the slide will only cost minimal. Not to mention, it's going to be included with your next bed frame, $100 extra, tops. So
I've been
Very
telling-
economical.
I've been telling Elizabeth we gotta get one of those for our beds.